So once upon a time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino is back at it again with making his Hollywood love story, at least in terms of cinematography, location shooting, and that is one of the best things about this movie in my opinion.
There is that way. I was trying to think of a way to describe this movie and you just hit it on the head. It is a love story for him as far as like the way that it used to be for Hollywood,
right,
and the cinematography and kind of going behind the scenes of what it could be, especially, and his love for Westerns as well.
Of course,
there is so much in there. So to see that, you're like, okay, this is definitely Quentin Tarantino. You kind of get that feel. And then, of course, this movie was all over the place, which is basically him as well.
He is kind of like Kevin Smith. When Kevin Smith tells a story, he kind of takes these excursions, and it takes a longer story to tell that one plot line he's trying to get to, but you get all these little adventures along the way. Same thing here, but I love the adventures that ended up happening with Brad Pitt and Leo DiCaprio.
I think that both of their characters complemented each other very well, which is pretty awesome to consider that one is the actor and the other one is their stuntman. I think you have to have that relationship between the two. So both Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt had a good relationship with each other, and I will say this: I really love the way that Leonardo DiCaprio played his character. Like, it was very like you can see the struggle of a struggling actor in the movie, and him trying to kind of find himself, and then when he does, it's very like in the time as well, you know, very in the 60s.
And more so struggling actor at the end of his career. I mean, he is becoming one of the old dogs, as he said in one of the trailers. And when it comes down to it, seeing their journey through this movie, I loved it. Every aspect of it. Everything about those two, I absolutely enjoyed. There were some shots that were chosen in this movie that I fell in love with. One where one guy's riding a horse through the Hollywood Hills, and it was just perfect. The whole time I'm like, man, it is beautiful the way that Tarantino was shooting this, and you could tell he put a lot of effort into, of course, the cinematography of this film. At the same time, though, I would say that there were certain plot points that did not really even need to be in this movie to tell this tale, but it did to add conflict to the story.
Right, and I think that there was some things that, in my personal opinion, they kind of shoehorned it in to the point where it's like, I want to see more with Rick and with Cliff Booth, like those characters and everything around them.
Right.
And when they kind of scurried off a little bit, I was like, Mom,
yeah,
I don't need them in the story.
The whole Sharon Tate, Manson family aspect of things, I felt like didn't belong in the movie. Sharon Tate could have been in the movie, right, and never really get to what is happening with the conflict, but at the same time, I feel like it was just shoehorned in, and it really didn't belong in this movie, or it didn't really add anything for me to the movie,
right,
because I was already invested in Leo and Brad Pitt's characters,
right,
and everything that they went through for
right,
the first 3/4 of this movie.
Right, it was more so their story arc in this story, and so having the other side of it, I was like, okay, sure, I guess you could put that in there, but I wanted to get more to the story of what's going on with Rick and Cliff.
And I love when movies actually put the music from the trailers in the movie, because I'm kind of bobbing my head. I'm like, you know what, I did fall in love with that song again during the trailer, and now it's in the movie, so I really enjoy the care Tarantino puts into the sound and music of his films, and this one definitely hit it on the head. So for me, I would probably end up giving it a 4 out of 5. I really did enjoy the ride that I got with the two guys, and the rest of it did kind of feel unnecessary, but it was fine. Like, I didn't think it was anything grand.
Right.
The way that they approached it, heartwarming at times because of the way they approach it, but at the same time, you know, I was suspenseful up to a point, and then I kind of checked out a little bit towards the finale. But either way, 4 out of 5 for me.
I think I would give it a little bit more, like a 3.7 out of 5.
Sure.
I mean, it was good. It had some good quality stuff going on in the movie.
Right.
But like we said, I feel like he went off too much on a tangent,
sure,
and for me personally, didn't really bring it back.
Yep, but he takes his liberties when he wants. That's what makes him Tarantino. So what did you guys think? Let us know if you saw it down in the comments below. If not, I say check it out for the performances we get from Leo and Brad Pitt. Thank you guys. You can like and subscribe.
And do the thing on our Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram,
All
Startup.
the social networking gingers, you know where they are. Kick into the party, fuel the party, keep the party going on our Patreon. Get us to where we need to go. We will be at the Schmodown Live September 14th in the Tempe Improv. Tickets available down in the description of this video. Watch us compete against the Wildberries live and in person. But thank you guys so much, and as always,
Now it's time to say goodbye.
this party is over. Bye.
Bye.